My sister ruined my wedding by hurling champagne, destroying my cake, and screaming, "This is what you get for acting like you're better." My mom hugged her like she'd been attacked. I didn't argue. I just waited until the night ended. Then I pulled the plug on the money she lived off. August 3rd was supposed to be simple. A small crowd, soft music, and my wife Emily in a dress that made me forget how to breathe. My sister walked in late, dressed for attention, and acted like I didn't exist. I'd seen that look before. It always came right before she blew something up. 3 weeks earlier, she'd called, crying about her car dying again. I'd already bailed her out once that spring. This time she wanted me to buy her a whole new car, urgently. I said no, because I was tired of being her emergency fund. She hung up, and I thought that was the end of it. At the reception, I stood up to toast everyone, thank them for coming, talk about building a calm life together. My sister stood too, and for a second I thought she was going to behave. She didn't. She lifted her glass. Then she threw it. Champagne exploded across the dessert table. Our framed photo cracked and fell. Next, she grabbed the cake with both hands. Then she shoved it, and 3 tears collapsed. Then she screamed, "This is what you get for acting like you're better." The room went dead. My mom sprinted to my sister and held her tight. "She just needs to let it out," my mom told everyone. My sister didn't apologize. She walked out like she'd made a point. Emily's parents stared at me like I'd invited chaos on purpose. I kept my mouth shut in public, not because I was fine, but because I wasn't giving my sister a second stage. When we got home, Emily asked if I was okay. I said, "I will be." Then I opened my laptop. I revoked the $9,400 tuition deposit I'd paid for her the month before. I froze the apartment lease account I'd co-signed and marked it for review. Rent was due in 5 days, and suddenly that wasn't my problem. At 8:40 a.m. my phone started lighting up. What the hell? I can't access the portal. Why is the lease locked? Fix this. I made coffee and muted her. She showed up at our door 2 days later, banging like she owned the place. Emily cracked it open, and my sister went straight into demands, like sorry was a foreign language. When she tried to slip in behind Emily, my wife grabbed her arm and hauled her back into the hallway. "Try that again, and I'm calling the police," Emily said. My sister shrieked, and Emily shut the door in her face. My parents called next and told me to be the bigger person, like my wedding was a safe place for her tantrum. My dad tossed us into a group chat to talk calmly. My sister wrote paragraphs about feeling invisible, and my mom ended with, "She's still your baby sister." I typed one line, "She's 22, and actions have prices." After that, the chat died. A week later, I found out the real joke. My parents quietly paid her tuition themselves, so they had the money. They just liked it better when I spent mine. She lost the apartment anyway, and I protected my credit. My sister tried one last grab for control with a Venmo request for $1,800 for the cake and broken frame. Lol, let's call it even. I handed my phone to Emily. She typed a reply, hit send, and said, "She's not going to like that." 15 minutes later, my sister blocked us everywhere. Then she launched a podcast painting herself as the victim of a golden child, complete with a sponsor from the same therapy app I'd once suggested. She emailed me like she was suddenly a calm adult. "Let's talk. I think you'll be proud of me." Emily read it twice and said, "Trap." I replied, "Emily will be there too." My sister went quiet again. 3 days later, my parents showed up at our place unannounced, trying to sell me the same story. She was transforming. The podcast was processing. Oh, and she'd moved back in with them temporarily. I asked one question. Did you ever tell her what she did was wrong? They couldn't answer. So I told them I was done being the family safety net and walked them out. Emily and I booked a trip far away because peace is cheaper than rescuing grown adults. Our bungalow had a sign, "No clocks." 2 days before we left, my sister texted me a single fire emoji. I blocked her number, grabbed my suitcase, and let the fire burn without me. What would you have done in my place?